What's your name?
It's David. My full name is David Stig Hansen. Don't call me Mr. Hansen. Just David is fine.
Where are you from?
I'm from California.
What do you like doing?
I like reading, watching movies and listening to music.
What do you do?
I go to school. I graduate next year.
What do you want to do in the future?
I'm going to start a business. I want to open a B&B. I'd like to retire at age 32.
What would you do if you didn't have to work?
I'd buy a ranch and raise animals.
We've almost arrived.
Have you been to Los Angeles before?
I haven't. It's my first time.
You're going to love it. It's always sunny there. There's always a lot of good weather there.
Hello. We haven't met yet. I'm Donna. What's your name?
I'm Dan Johnson. Where are you from?
I'm from Australia, but I live in New York.
What do you do there?
I'm a student. I major in marketing. I worked on the campaign for Lady Gaga.
Oh cool. I've seen that. It was in Las Vegas. There were a lot of nice cars there.
What do you do?
I just finished my MBA at UCLA.
What are you going to do now?
Well, I work for a retail shop. But I'd like to start a business. I want to open a restaurant. I'm going to buy a new car first though. I'd like to buy a BMW.
What would you do if you could do anything you wanted?
If I could do anything, I'd definitely buy a Ferrari. I'd buy a house in Hollywood, and probably a jet and fly all over the world. What would you do?
I'd try to meet new friends, and perhaps even my soulmate. I wouldn't get married, though.
Good luck with that. Have fun in LA. I gotta go. Bye.
Daniel and Helen are both visiting the United States from out of town. Daniel's good. However, Helen can't decide what to eat.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good. You?
Not bad.
What are you up to?
Nothing much. I'm just getting something to eat.
Have this extra breakfast.
What is it?
It's an egg sandwich. It has bacon. There's cheese too. You just have to heat it up in the microwave.
I'm hungrier than that. I'd prefer to go to the diner and have something more substantial.
Why don't you drive to the mall? There's a food court there, but I don't know if it's any good. There's a new restaurant there too.
I don't have enough money.
Fine. There are some apples in the refrigerator. What are you doing later today?
I'm going to see my friend. He just got into town. He studies part-time at Boston University.
What does he do?
He's an engineer.
Do you know what the weather will be like tomorrow?
I think it'll be nice. I don't think it'll rain. What are you doing this weekend?
I'm going hiking in Elephant Mountain.
Oh cool. I've done that before. There are great trails there. They have a nice park there.
What do you like doing?
I like reading, listening to music and watching TV. Do you work tomorrow?
I don't. I have class. I'm taking Spanish.
Aren't you in high school?
No, I graduated already.
What school did you go to?
I went to Taipei #1 Girls High School in Taipei. I'm a senior in college. I'll graduate this year.
Why do you study Spanish? What do you want to do with it?
Well, I'd like to travel to Mexico. I want to visit the ancient ruins. I'm going to learn several languages. I'd like to travel through Europe.
Okay.
Hello, Bob. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Do you study here?
Yes. I'm learning Spanish and taking an art class. What about you?
I am taking an English class. How many times a week do you go to school?
I come here twice a week, on Mondays and Wednesdays. How about you?
I always go 3 times a week. I sometimes study at the library on the weekend.
Where do you work?
I work at the grocery store, but on weekends only. What do you do?
I work at the library.
How's that going?
I like it. It's quiet. Oh, I have a new car.
Do you? What does it look like?
It's red and little.
Is it fast?
Yes. Do you want a ride home?
Sure. Good morning, sir. I'd like to ask you a few questions if I may.
Well, I'm waiting to catch my flight, so I guess I can answer a few questions.
Thank you, sir. First of all, how often do you travel?
I travel about twice a month.
Where are you flying to on this trip?
I'm flying to Austin, Texas.
And where did you fly on your last trip?
I flew to Portland, Oregon. I've already been there 3 times.
Really? Do you enjoy traveling for business?
Yes, although I prefer staying in the office.
What do you like most about traveling?
I like visiting new cities and trying out new food.
Is there anywhere you would like to visit that you haven't visited yet?
Yes, I'd like to go to Hawaii. I love going to the beach.
Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Hello, may I ask you some questions about your personal background?
You may. I don't mind answering some questions.
Thanks a lot. Now, first question. What do you do?
I work in a library. I'm a librarian.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
What does your husband do?
He's a policeman. He works for the city of LA.
You both seem busy. Do you usually have dinner together?
We do. Sometimes we have to eat late though.
How often do you and your husband exercise?
I only exercise maybe once or twice a week. But he usually exercises up to 4 times a week.
Where do you like going on days off?
We rarely get time off. However, we like going to the mountains if we can.
You're a librarian. Do you enjoy reading?
Of course I do. I love it.
What type of books do you read?
I often read mysteries. And I like reading non-fiction history too.
Thank you very much for answering my questions.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. Please, have a seat.
Thank you.
How are you doing today? Did you have any trouble finding the office?
I'm fine, thank you, and I had no trouble at all getting here.
Great. Well, let's get started. Could you tell me a little about your educational background?
Yes, I graduated from UCLA in 1995, with a bachelor's degree in journalism. After that, I enrolled in NYU Master's Program for Journalism, graduating in 1998.
I see. Now, how about your work experience?
After I left NYU, I worked for a year at the daily newspaper.
And after that?
From there I moved to San Francisco and was employed by the Bay Area Chronicle, covering local news.
What was the biggest story you covered while you were there?
I covered several that I thought were important. But I would have to say the investigative piece I did on the cover-up of the governor's staff involvement in the embezzlement of education funds was the biggest.
That sounds interesting. How did you like it at the Chronicle?
Overall, I liked it a lot. The people were great and my boss was supportive and understanding.
What brought you to Denver?
My husband's company transferred him here last month.
One final question. Why did you apply here? Denver has 3 daily newspapers to choose from.
I felt that this paper is better suited for my conservative thinking, my unique writing style, and my diverse areas of interest when covering political news.
Well, thank you for your time. We'll be making a selection in a couple of days and we'll call you one way or the other.
Thank you for seeing me. Have a nice day.
Could you do me a favor?
Sure, boss. What is it?
I'd like you to go down to the warehouse and find my reading glasses.
Where are they?
They're next to the break area, where there are newspapers. On the desk near the door going outside, there's a fire extinguisher.
Are they next to the microwave oven?
They aren't. They on one of the desks next to the fire extinguisher.
Oh, next to the forklift parking area?
Yes, that's right. Thanks. I put them on a small box. It's purple, and has white numbers on it.
Okay, I'll be right back with them.
Could you do me a favor?
Sure, boss. What is it?
I'd like you to go down to the warehouse and find my reading glasses. I left them there yesterday.
Where were they?
They were next to the break area, where there are newspapers. On the desk near the door going outside. There's a fire extinguisher there.
Did you put them next to the microwave oven?
I didn't. They were on one of the desks next to the fire extinguisher.
Oh, do you mean next to the forklift parking area?
Yes, that's right. Thanks. I put them on a small box. It was purple, and had white numbers on it.
Okay, I'll go look for them.
Where are you from originally?
When I was a boy, I grew up a couple cities over, south of Hollywood. I had to visit my grandmother here every Christmas with my family.
Had to? Why didn't you like it?
It was boring. I was always bored driving the long distances. I couldn't stand the drive.
Why not?
My father drove an old station wagon. My mother was always talking. He'd installed a new radio and scanned the channels and never listened to her. I would sit in the back and close my eyes and pretend to sleep. I wouldn't have gone if I hadn't had to.
When did you start in this city?
I came here for college when I was about 18.
How long have you been here?
I've been at this company for 40 years.
How many years have you worked in this department?
I've been working here for 2 weeks so far. Do you think I have to work in the warehouse much longer, boss?
What are you doing this weekend?
I'm working overtime.
When do you go on vacation?
I never do. My brother always does. He takes his vacations very seriously.
You don't?
No, I don't, because I'll never stop thinking of work.
How long are you going to work here tonight?
For another hour or so.
How long do you want to work in this department?
Until I get a promotion. That's why I'm staying late, to finish proposals.
Those proposals can wait until tomorrow. Just go home and take a break. You're a hard worker. What would you like to do in the future?
I'd like to have your job, boss, when you retire, of course.
What do you want to do when you retire?
When I retire. I haven't thought about that.
Well, you should. What would you do if you didn't have to work?
I'd start a company like Microsoft or Apple. It would be run by refugees. It'd compete with Apple Computer.
That's the business proposal I want. Please send it to me this week.
I'll send it to you later tonight.
Can I go see my friends?
You can play with your friends when you finish your dinner.
I'll let you know when I finish. I can't wait to go see them.
Why? What are you doing?
We're going to build a tree house.
You'd better be extremely careful. If you aren't, you'll get hurt.
I am really trying to finish. Is it okay if I don't eat my vegetables?
No. You have to finish them. I'll be really angry if you don't.
I just want to go help. We're using it as our clubhouse.
If I let you go, can I join?
You can't, Mom. No girls allowed.
That's okay. I think it's going to be cold though. Will you still build if it snows?
We will. I'm taking my boots. If it snows, I'll put them on.
Be very careful. But if it does, the ground will be slippery.
If it snows hard, we won't work, but if it just snows a little bit, we'll still do it.
What if it rains?
If it rains, I'll probably come home. What would you like to do today?
Why don't we go to the mountains?
It would be cold. It's snowing up there. Could we go to the beach?
We could. But it might be windy there.
It would be warmer than the mountains.
It would. But if it's too windy, we couldn't lay out in the sun. It would be a wasted trip. The mountains are closer. We would be there in 45 minutes.
That's true, but we would have to change buses. If we went to the beach, we could take the express train directly there and it would only take an hour.
But we might not get a seat. We'd have to stand the whole hour.
We could sit on the floor.
That doesn't sound very comfortable.
We could hang out at the end of the train and smoke.
Smoking isn't allowed on the train.
Hey, if we went downtown instead, we could try the new buffet.
That would be great. I've been wanting to go there.
Let's do that instead then. I'll get ready.
If we hurry, we can catch the bus downtown. Otherwise, we'll have to walk.
Ron, what are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just looking up some information on the internet.
Like what? Let me see.
No, it's okay. I mean, you know.
Baldness? What are you looking that up for? It's not that bad.
There you go. Bringing it up again. First the people at work, and now from you.
No. I mean it. You look great. Honestly, it's not that bad.
Hey, I get enough of it from friends.
Well, maybe you could wear a toupee? I think you look great.
But it might slip off my head and that would be embarrassing.
Well, you could use Rogaine. It's an external treatment.
That only works in the back. It wouldn't help in front.
There are new advances in pills that not only retard hair loss, but help regenerate new growth.
I don't like popping pills. It would also be expensive for something that might not work.
You could always get hair implants. They move the hair on the back of your head to the front of your head.
That would be painful.
Well, you could just accept the fact that you're just losing your hair.
And women would continue to avoid me.
Come on. You can't be serious. I'd go out with you.
Would you? Would you have my children?
I would. We could have a whole bunch of bald children. What are we going to do about our decline in sales?
Let's ask the boss.
He already delegated this responsibility to me and told me that we should brainstorm this, and then present him with our ideas.
My first idea would be to take a long vacation.
That wouldn't increase sales.
No, but I'd feel more refreshed, and could give you better ideas.
I don't think I'll present this to Mr. Hansen.
No, he wouldn't like that idea. We could invite him along though.
Haha.
Okay, seriously, there are a lot of things we could do. If he wants to specifically increase sales, we would need to focus on altering our advertising tactics.
What do you mean?
Well, there are other ways to make money. We could lower our manufacturing costs and save money, thus increasing profits. But to increase sales, we would need to increase advertising by adding more ad channels, or increasing our existing methods.
If we spent more money on TV advertising, it wouldn't be very effective. We've saturated this channel.
Well, we could start doing a radio advertising campaign.
Why would you do that?
It would increase exposure to our older customers. Some of them don't even watch TV, but they love talk radio.
Radio ads are also expensive. But the older customers have a lot of money.
Why don't we do a mail campaign and send them our catalog?
That might work. We could also start looking at the younger markets too.
We could do a campaign with Line. That would reach anyone who has a smartphone.
What if they don't use Line?
We'd have to use something everyone already has. We could try Facebook too. We'd have to use multiple channels online.
What else could we do?
We could carve out some sort of targeted niche. Perhaps tweak our ads to attract female professionals. They spend more money on these types of products.
What about our existing customers?
We can exploit them by offering a small discount for larger purchases, and additionally offer them related products to save them time. These are all great ideas.
Hello. I have a reservation.
And your name?
It's Nelson. Charles Nelson.
Okay, Mr. Nelson. That's a room for 5.
Excuse me? You mean a room for $5? I didn't know the special would be so cheap.
No, according to our records, a room for 5 guests was booked under your name.
No. Hold on. There must be some mistake.
Charles Nelson. A room for 1 for the 19th.
Wait. It was for tonight. I won't be here tomorrow night.
I don't think we'd have any rooms for tonight. We're booked full. There's a convention going on in town, and let's see. Yeah, no rooms.
Come on. You must have something. Anything.
Well, we do have some rooms under renovation. It would only have a single bed. They wouldn't have the normal amenities like a TV or working shower or toilet.
Oh man. Come on. There must be something else.
Well, let me check my computer here. There's been a cancellation for this evening. A honeymoon suite is now available.
I'll take it.
But it would be $250 for the night.
Man. I should get a discount for the inconvenience. I'd be a much happier customer.
The best I could give you is a 10% discount. But that would include a free continental breakfast.
Hey. Wouldn't the breakfast be free anyway?
It's only on weekends.
I think I'll drive over to Motel 6.
Wait, Mr. Nelson. Let me call the manager for special approval. I might be able to give you an additional 15% discount, and I could throw in a free room for the next time you visit us.
That might be a long time.
Hi.
Knock.
Hello. Please, come in. Don't take off your shoes. Leave them on.
Thank you. You have a lovely home. How long have you lived here?
We bought it when we moved here 10 years ago. Would you like a drink?
That would be great.
What would you like?
I'll have onion juice, please.
Okay. Have a seat over there and I'll prepare something. Why don't you take off your coat? Hang it over there.
No, that's okay. I'll leave it on.
Okay, sit there, and I'll be right back. Make yourself at home.
Thanks.
Here. Have some snacks. There are some small sandwiches on the table. Help yourself.
Oh, they look delicious.
Thanks. I made them myself. Take a napkin from there.
Oh, these are great.
How long were you asleep in suspended animation for space travel?
For 372 years. That's why I'm so hungry.
Have more. Don't be shy. There's plenty more in the kitchen.
Save some for yourself.
Don't worry. I've had plenty. Let's finish them all, and then we'll watch a movie.
I'm never going to succeed in English. I just failed my last test.
Did you study for it?
I did. I worked for hours, but it didn't help.
Maybe you should make a better study plan. Make one that has clearer goals.
Well, my goal is to pass my test. I guess I'm having trouble staying focused.
Maybe you're getting too distracted. Choose your study location wisely so you don't get bothered by people.
I also get interrupted by my smartphone, receiving texts and other social media.
Sure, I've experienced that. Turn off the technology. Put your phone on silent and don't keep checking Facebook.
So much for improving my testing skills, but what about your advice on language learning in general, outside the classroom?
As for languages, surround yourself with the language. Immerse yourself.
How do I do that?
Practice as much as possible. Practice speaking with others.
What about when I'm alone?
Practice reading and writing when you are studying by yourself. One last thing about testing, prepare earlier.
Okay, I'll try. I have another test next week, so I'd better get started.
Ok, and I have one last piece of advice.
What's that?
Don't give up. I just got my driver's license.
Did you? That's great. Why don't we drive somewhere?
I'm still a little nervous on the road.
You should be. It's dangerous out there. You have to be extremely cautious out there these days.
You do. I know. My uncle got in a big accident a few months ago. Someone hit him.
Obey the rules. If you don't, you are more likely to have one yourself.
Even if you do, you might still have one. It wasn't even his fault.
Drive defensively. You never know if the other driver is drunk or texting. Don't make assumptions about what other drivers are going to do.
I won't.
Don't text and drive yourself. Don't drink and drive. Don't speed.
I never will.
Don't go over the speed limit when you pass others, although you must go faster than them.
I won't. I'll also pay extra attention around school zones.
If you're in a car, you don't have to wear a helmet, but on a scooter or a motorcycle, you should always wear one.
My mum thinks it's too dangerous to ride on two wheels. That's why she encouraged me to get my car driver's license.
It was probably a good idea. I wouldn't want any of my kids on two-wheeled vehicles. It's too easy to get slammed.
Maybe I should just keep walking places.
Don't worry. I'll be your backseat driver.
Thanks, pal.
Let me see now. Which train do I need to get on?
Excuse me. Do you need any help?
Yes, I want to go to Tokyo Tower, but I'm really lost. This is my first visit to Japan, so I have no idea on how to ride the trains.
First, you need to buy a ticket to your destination. From here, it's 130 yen.
130 yen. Okay.
Then, get on the Hibiya subway line at platform number 4.
Number 4, alright. Oh, and how often do the trains come around this time of day?
Usually, they come about every 6 minutes or so.
Alright. And where do I get off the train?
Get off at Kamiyako Station, 3 stops from here. The sign at the station is written in English, so you'll be able to read it.
3 stops. Got it. Thanks for your help.
No problem. Good luck.
Do you happen to know where the movie theater is downtown? The one near the hospital.
Yeah. Why do you want to know?
Well, on Monday, I asked Jennifer out on a date for this coming Saturday night.
Wow. You've really been seeing a lot of her lately. Sounds great. Okay, remember these directions so you don't get lost.
Okay, go ahead.
First, drive down 1st Street going west, cross the river, and keep going straight until Pine Street.
Until Pine Street, right?
Right. Then turn left, and the movie theater is the second building on the right. It's next to the church.
Second building on the right. Got it. Now, can you recommend any nice restaurants?
Yeah. The Pink Flamingo serves excellent Spanish food.
Well, where's that?
Well, starting from the movie theater, go south on Pine Street, cross 2nd Street, and drive to 3rd Street. You'll see a parking lot on the left side of the street. Okay so far?
A parking lot on the left. Okay. Then what?
Okay, then turn left on 3rd Street and drive east. The Pink Flamingo is the building just before the river on the left side. I think it's open weekdays from 10:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night, but it stays open until midnight on the weekends.
Okay, I think I've driven by there before. Oh, last thing. Where can I buy some flowers? We're going out to celebrate Jennifer's birthday.
Well, the only florist I know is in front of the stadium on 2nd Street. Try that one.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
What would you do if you didn't have to work?
What do you mean?
If you were rich, and didn't have to work.
But I'm not rich, and I do have to work.
I know, but what if you won the lottery, or you found $1 million?
But I don't play the lottery, and I don't think anyone would lose or forget $1 million.
Look, stop being difficult. I know these things aren't probable, but they also aren't impossible. Perhaps a rich relative died and left you the money.
If someone left me $1 million, I'd probably still work.
Okay. You're still being difficult. Do you just like to know what you would do if you didn't work, and could do anything you wanted? For example, would you travel?
Traveling is expensive.
Right, and therefore neither of us can do it, because we both aren't rich. I got that. That's why I said if you could hypothetically. Please open your mind and answer my question.
If I were rich, I'd buy my boss's company, that way I could make a lot of money.
But you would already have a lot of money.
Well, I suppose I'd stop taking the bus to work, and buy a car so I could drive to work.
Oh. Sheesh. You really are a boring person, aren't you?
Well, why are you asking me this?
Because I just won the lottery and I quit my job. Pack your bags.
Should I pack my big bag or my little one?
Pack all your bags and get out. I wish I hadn't quit my job last summer. I regret doing that.
But then you wouldn't have been able to travel to Europe.
Yes. Europe was fun, however now I'm broke. If I hadn't quit my job, I wouldn't be so broke.
True, but then you also wouldn't have been able to go to Europe.
I could have if I'd only gone for 1 week. The boss would have approved a short vacation. I wouldn't have had to quit, and I could have saved more money for a second trip.
Well, didn't you meet your new girlfriend on that vacation? If you hadn't gone, you wouldn't have met her.
I would have. Even if I'd gone for a shorter time, I still would have stayed at the same hotel. She would have been there, and I would have still met her.
But maybe some other guy would have met her first. You would have been watching them together by the pool.
You don't know that.
I don't, but I do know that you wouldn't have been able to spend so much time with her. You may not have been able to kiss her, and the relationship wouldn't have been consummated.
To consummate means sex, not kissing.
That other guy would be consummating with her right now.
Hey, shut up. I hope you never find a girlfriend.
Thanks, pal. Our business strategy was pretty successful last quarter.
It was. But it could have been better. We could have doubled our profits.
How could we have done that?
We could have lowered our costs more. That would have increased our profit margin. We also could have promoted our product as a luxury item, and therefore charged a higher price.
Then our sales would have dropped.
Maybe, But along with the higher profits from the sales we did make, we could have offered a higher level of service, and attached all sorts of addition options. That would have given us a higher return per sale.
What else should we have done?
Well, we should have fired half of our sales force. If we had done that, we wouldn't have had to pay their salaries and bonuses. Our sales volume could have been covered by those remaining salespersons.
We wouldn't have been very popular if we'd laid off half our sales staff.
Not with the employees, but our shareholders would have loved us.
Yes, they would have.
I also would have gotten rid of you. I'd have fired you first thing.
You are cold-blooded. Are you a human or a reptile?
You just went by her house. You should turn around and go back.
I don't think that was her house. I'm going to go on.
I looked up the address on the map. It's between 7th Street and 8th Street.
Fine, I'll turn the airplane around.
Now we have to figure out where to park.
Turn off the radio so I can concentrate on parking.
But I love this song. It wakes me up.
You're starting to tire me out. Could you quiet down and help me look for parking?
Lighten up. Hey, there's a parking spot.
Sorry, I'm just a little worked up. I broke up with my girlfriend last night.
You split up with Alice?
Yeah. We'd been going out for 3 years. We had a fight and she kicked me out. Now I have to move out and figure out where to live. I totally messed up.
I'm sorry. You can hang out at my place, son, until you find an apartment.
Thanks. I can always count on you, Mom.
Well, cheer up. I'm sure you can meet someone new at the party. It's time to move on.